Okay, so let's get the show on the road. Now, like I mentioned, we will be looking at a couple of things, which is the asset gear mobile, and the idea is want to see the Docker setup and install Hey API. So I mentioned sometime that I was able to reinstall or re-update what we're using for Edge before, and then we're now going to be using the Hey API. So the same thing will apply to this guy. So first of all, before I go ahead and test what has been done in the Docker, so let me see what you did in the stuff. So I'm supposed to have a Docker folder. Why am I not having Docker folder? Or let me pull first to see the updates. I think I have the latest stuff. If I should go on this, okay, there are more things that has been done. I have 4 things here. So I've let me pull. So I have conflict, so I can stash this guy, stash all the 4 guy, and then pull the 2 people. And by the way, we've not made those updates on. I've not actually merged those details online, all the changes you've done, because I've not been able to test them actually, and hopefully that's what the Docker thing is supposed to solve for us. So eventually we're having issue, so let me try and resolve. Okay, so I want to see. Okay, this is it, just the IP thing. Okay, what else? I think it's just only IP, so let me just pick. I'll just pick your own. Did I make any improvement? Okay, I added localhost. Let me just pick what you've done. So I will also commit what I've done here so that it will stop being in my own side. I think I upgraded the Go package to 2.55, 2.5.5 or thereabouts. Okay, that has been done. So this is Docker Compose. Hopefully everything looks nice. This is the Docker folder. This is for the backend, and this is for the front end. Before going to Docker, I will need to compare this with so we'll not be using this OpenJSON again. So there's going to be a lot of guys who are going to pull down. We're going to be pulling down a lot of implementation, so we won't need this guy. If memory serves me right, I'm going to use what it's on my head. So I'm not going to be using these open guys anymore. So I'm just going to open the other projects, so it will help us and speed up the implementation process to know what are the things we're going to be needing from this setup. So we have it here. I know the name when I see. So this is it here. API open API-cx. So I'm just gonna copy this. Or instead of me just copying, we'll just install. But like I said, we are removing these 2 guys. Not needed anymore. I guess it's the same person. I mentioned that it's the same person that kind of created those 2 stuff. You notice that it's not here anymore. Then I can do pnpn add adding to development, and then adding it to the work guy. So 90, let me see the version again. That's 0.90. Later you can be doing no, I think we'll lock it at this version. So is that art supposed to be there? We'll figure that out. So while that one is going, let's check other things that I think that's the only thing major. But I know it has its own customization. So its own customization comes with the fact that you have to have this also set up, which is the OpenAPI-TS config. So I'm going to copy this and put it right here. And the idea is that this is how it's going to do its own configuration. Now, the challenge here is this. It's a big challenge or big issue. All our code is going to stop working because we are currently using the old method to use the API. So what do I mean by the old method? So for instance, if you go to the shared, all the things generated here now will change. Everything here will change. It's not going to be using this, especially this. It doesn't use this approach anymore. So what does that mean? We're going to rewrite our code, major code that depends on it. So yeah, I think that's why I noticed that we're going to be doing quite a lot. Yes. So I've copied the documentation from everything we have here is what we're going to be using here. So I just copied and paste, and I think we maintain the same folder structure, apart from the fact that here we call it front end instead of here we call it web. So anywhere we kind of reference anything called web, we have to rename it. So I don't think there's any reference or any name calling here. So in your front end, we have to look at where we made use of the generated code. So hooks, all the hooks that we created, we have to go and, you know, recall it and do the whole thing. So this, I guess this will change. I don't know if this is still the way it's being called, but we wrote all these things manually. We're using SWR. Okay, this one is different. It doesn't affect it. So we're just calling the class directly, which is something like this, and then get assets, and we pass this thing through it. So this might change because it might require us to pass other form of options. But once it comes, we'll get to look at it. Let the code file generate first. So that means that we are deleting, these things are going, and it's going to give us another way to do it. Okay. What else do we need to install? Let me just run it. Before running the Docker, we need to first make sure that it's working locally, or rather without Docker. Then when we are all good, we can then, you know, start up the Docker and where it will be home and dry. I'm going to decouple several things that I noticed were not needed. One of the things is this type. Okay, I think I've actually decoupled it. Major thing is in this generated. So what do we do? How do we run the code or the guy? So I kept it. I kept the code here. So you can use. Okay, this for something else. You use. I think I kept it somewhere. Nope. Because its own way of generating the code is different from this method. So I added into the make file so that I won't bother to worry about it. So once we do make gen, it will just call the guy. So this is how you call it here. So PMP OpenAPI-TS. So this is where we'll call it, and we have to add it to the same make that we have here. So let me see what we also did here. I think here we also have this make gen going for it. Okay, so let me see where to put it. We have to change a whole lot of things. Yes, we have to change a whole lot of things. So we have to also work with our make file. So let's start from the beginning and see all the things that we need to tweak. So the make file has to also be adjusted. So this one, so we don't need this OpenJSON directory anymore. We just need the Swagger documentation and where we are generating to. We're not also dealing with types. We're not generating types. We're not also doing API client directory. So I'm going to maintain this API, and we have this guy. Okay, we'll follow these other things. Now in the code, in the Swag generation, this is the one on the right that is, well, we are depending on. So we don't need to use Swagger to OpenAPI conversion anymore. We don't need to do OpenAPI to TypeScript anymore. we just call this guy straight. I don't just want to do direct copy and paste. That way we might lost something that is unique alone to the code. So this one stay like this. Then the open API, so you can see all this implementation will no longer be needed. We don't need this one anymore. So, but let's take it gradually. Fetch API, ensure package. So I did something here, and the idea is that whenever I'm generating the generated code inside the system, I always create the packages on myself because it's needed for other things. So I'm also going to use the whole approach, this .gen.log. So this is a fixed file that should always be here. So I'm going to go and create that one. Eventually we might end up just doing copy and paste to everything, but it also helps to see what's going on. So let me copy that code here and place it in the shared directory here. The code is locked, it's not supposed to be changed. I'm trying to look at the name we'll call it. Of course it's not going to be called Edge. The name is being referenced to inside. I'm looking, okay, it's actually inside here. Very funny, why is it still called Edge? It's not supposed to be called Edge technically. I'm supposed to name it something else. I'm not supposed to call it Edge, but for the purpose of this, not to change anything, I'm going to leave it as Edge. So we're supposed to maintain this as this, like so that when this one comes to replace this, because the system is going to be deleting all the folder, and then when it's ready to copy this one and name it package.json. That's the idea. So I will leave it like that. Okay, so combine generated code, all is good. We might eventually actually have to make it the same, exactly the same thing. So it's still the same thing, PNP dev, right? That's good. We have the swag gen. So this one runs the backend air, runs the front end. Okay. So let's see what happens to the production. In the production, it's calling this one, which is okay. That's the intention. And it's running all this. So it's still cool. So, but there's a part that is important, which is this one here. Because when you're running it live, you still need to generate this code here. So we don't have anything for production here. I want to see if I can just copy and paste this entire thing into here, and then we'll just forget about it. Okay, so let me see if okay, I can't copy because of these names. So I'm going to copy this one. This is good to go. Then which other ones? CD into backend, main. Yeah, I just leave out this one. Okay, so we're good to go with this live thing. I think we're good. The next thing for us to do is to try and do make gen to generate code and see what we have. I know that this error is going to creep in. I know this error is going to creep in one way or the other. So let's run make gen. Okay, it worked. Of course, it's going to give us error at some point. That one is definitely sure. I know that error is going to come up. So let's see where we are coming from. Okay, it's not a bad error. I know about this error. It's not an error, so to say, is a warning. So that we use the appropriate name. And that's why you notice when I was installing Hey API, I just lock it up at 90. So the latest version now, there are some things that they've depreciated and I've not going to change those things. So that's why he kind of shouted there, ah, this is a real error. So there's now a new thing I did, which is to generate a hook. So that one is even still new. Let's delete this hook thing because we already have our hook created manually. Let's just go and consume the hook that we created manually. So I'm going to remove this one. This is not yet we've not yet upgraded to start using this hook one that I generated. Let's give it a try again. Yep, we're good. So let's see the code that we have. If we go to generated, this is new stuff. We can safely delete this one, I guess. In fact, I'm gonna delete everything and retry again. Yeah, then I'm gonna retry to generate the code again and see what then happens. Okay, all good. So this is the package.json thing I'm talking about. So it gets generated automatically and you are good to go. Now, I think at this point, we can run Docker and start debugging from there. So of course, I said this part is going to give us a lot of errors because we've changed the generated code. So let me run Docker for the first time. Before I run Docker, there's still one more thing I need to set, I guess. Let me look at my entry point of my app. Let me look at the entry point. There's something I want to set, and that's to maintain the IP to 127.0.1. Let me see where that comes in, because it's a control that I did in such a way that that becomes what we're using across board. I'm trying to recall where that is, but let me look at the app entry in main. So there's no call specially to here. There's a part like that where I specifically mentioned where we are going to be the entry point of the app and what IP is going to be using. So let me check service initialization. Good, this is it here. So in the initialization, yeah, this is it here. We need this file as well. The purpose of this file is to make sure that we have these two things. This with credentials and throw an error is actually necessary to the success of what we're doing. So I'm gonna copy this file and go under services here, front end. If we don't, okay, we'll have services. Then I'm gonna paste it there. We want to have generated clients. Interesting. So let me try and see how to bring it in. This is one of the issues I'm talking about. So it's not supposed to be coming through node modules like so. I'm still gonna get ahead of that one somehow. So this is a TypeScript stuff. We're gonna find a way to resolve that one. Okay. I want to see if we still need this. I don't know if we still need this. Authentication. What's going on here? Open API configuration. So we'll not need this one as well. We shouldn't need this one. It's even calling it a file that does not exist. Okay, that is gone. Now in our config here, where is the config? Configuration for the entire thing. Yeah. Let me look for where we specify, if I specify anything there. So this is all okay, automatically generated from you open the PITS. So this is one of the ways that the system knows what to use. So let me see if it has been generated like that too on our local system this way. So no, it has not been. So maybe it needs to fetch from this guy. Okay. Main. Because if we do not resolve this, we're gonna have that issue. We're gonna have that issue. So let's look at the same file that got generated and see what we'll have there. So this file is at shared generated types gen shared. Okay, it's there actually. So this is good. This is what we are making use of. But the files, are they the same? They look kind of different. Okay, so this one has HTTP. This one doesn't have. So the problem is from here. I think I will check from the backend because this also has impact. I think I also noticed this in the implementation. So we didn't have HTTP here. So it's also important update. Also an important update. So it should be here like so. Is it 9000 we're using or 1992? Confirm that. Let me check the environment variable. So I'm also okay. So I'm changing the cookie and everything like that. So the one online has all the things it's supposed to have. So no, don't worry, don't need to push anything again. So I'm working on this. Then I have this one set. Which other IP do I need to set? Domain. I don't even think we use the application URL stuff, but let me check. Oh, okay, we need it. But is it 3000? But we don't even use it in the app, but it's fine. Okay, we have that all set. Let me see if we can do make. So if we go there as well, so it's now coming correctly. So any system, this is what we'll have, and that's one of the things that will make it work across board. So all the constants and everything are all generated the way it's supposed to be. Now what I want to do is I want to restart the app and see if the JavaScript will TypeScript will fall into place, because it's all not picking the case very well. I mean the directory. Okay, now it's picking the directory. Oh no, it's not picking. And I guess one of the major reasons is because this is already used. This edge the generated is already used somewhere. So what I want to do is I want to change the name, which is a major change we want to do right now. So I don't want to use edge. I want to use asset gear / generated across board. So I will do a very serious naming. Asset gear. So I want to use this one instead of what it is now. So it's changing across 32 files, which is massive. So what I also want to do, I want to look for anywhere that there's edge and change it to asset gear. So we still have edge running, although this is a log file. I don't know if I want to change all this log file thing. Oh, it's only one place in the log file. So where is this edge coming from? Okay, let me change all the edge here, even though it's not a good idea to come and change it here. asset gear. Now let me look for, so yeah, I'm calling it asset gear mobile. Voila. The best thing is even to actually delete this one so that it will recreate it. Okay, let me delete it first. Do I need to delete it or reinstall it? Let me first leave it first. So the name is asset gear mobile. So if we go into the packages, when we enter inside the web guy and we go to package, we will now specify here asset gear generated. So here it should be inside the generated itself. We should then have I didn't see this one. You tell it to search for everything. It will remove the one it wants. It will just do what it wants to do and leave the rest. And we search for edge everywhere. It still didn't show it. Now the next thing we want to check is the configuration. So if I go to configuration here, what I'll just say is to try and fix what he wants to fix. Oh, okay. Do we need to install that? I think we might need to install something here, but that's fine. So there's a missing stuff he wants us to install. So he wants us to add bytes to the whole thing we are doing. Let's do that. Did we remove it before? Okay, while that one is going, let's hope that that installs or that fixes that issue. While that one is going, let's look at other configuration section. The other ones are not even giving up, but I'm actually looking for that part where there's a part we will need to specify. Okay, it's not here. Let's capture this one as issue. So let me highlight all the issues. This one has been fixed. This one is fixed. So let's fix this one. Why did it say here? Okay. At what point did he uninstall all these things that is it's not seeing anymore? Delete on this side. So let's see the next one. Say it doesn't have access to this. So the issue now is trying to get this one installed. Oh, okay. Normally these ones are not even available, so we don't even have issues with this one. Is this one we'll have issue with? So we need to go to yes, we need to go to TC configuration here. Yeah, and then make sure that we've put the path here. This is where I'm actually going to. This is what I've been looking for actually. So even though this part is specific to other things, I want to tie it to the generated asset gear stuff. Then make sure that you focus on everything is SRC. Yep. But this should also work with this. This should work with this. But it's just being explicit, and hopefully it should work now. Let me see what I have in the other project folder. So the other project folder is inside config, like so. Yeah, so here you even have it. In fact, let me just copy and paste like so. That way you have certainty. So here is assets. Yeah. So that way we have everything pointing to this one. So let me try now. It's working now. It has been able to map it directly to where the whole thing is. We're getting there. So now we know that it's because this part have been deleted because we've changed the way we generate our code. Let's go ahead and run Docker and see what happens. Let me run Docker in another terminal here. CD volume. So this assets. Is there a dot there? I think there's a dot there. Okay, I think this should be it. I hope everything has been named correctly. So this is the first time I'm running this guy. Let me see if I'm running the preview. I'm running this one. So let me stop this one. So later we can do it in such a way that we can put them on different ports and then run both of them at the same time if we need to. So the terminal app is name of this terminal is called Terminus. Someone is asking for a name of the app. We'll still do some browsing. Terminus. Let me open it up. So this is it here, Terminus. Yes, I'm on several platforms. I'm streaming on several platforms. See the link on my bio to see all those platforms. See the link on my bio. You see other places I'm streaming on. So modern SSH. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Kick. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Rumbles. I'm on like 6 different platforms. So yeah, this guy is good, very good. I like the terminal. Yeah, I was like, I should have seen this terminal a long time ago coming. And they have paid version, but I think I'm good on the used version. As in, it's nice. It's nice. They tried a lot. I was surprised that I've not seen it for a long time, and I see it a lot in terminals. Okay, so the guy is still cooking. While he's cooking, let me go and quickly delete our node, because if he sees this guy, he will be angry. He will be angry with us, this node module. So let me remove it. Once it's good to go, we'll be able to go. So it's exporting image, making layers, making whatever it needs to make. This is the directory of my Docker, and here I can see all the images that I have. This is the edge images, and I'm sure it's gonna bring up the new images that is creating now. And these are the containers that we'll have. Like I said, we should be able to change IPs, ports, so that all of them will just run. We'll change that later. And so this is the new one, asset gear mobile backend. I think there should be like a dot here. So what about the front end? It's just having only backend. Hey, our first issue has arrived. So our first issue is we have is pushing local, not found. What happened? Didn't you can just use what we have. Okay, did you create it on your own system? Okay, so I think we will not be having that local issue anymore. Wait, okay, that's under up here. I don't think we'll be having that issue anymore. I think so. So since we are done with building the image, the other thing is we do Docker compose up. I think that's the, but I don't think it has run the front end or the web version. But let me just push and see what we have. Let me do up. The guy know they go. Okay, it's not seeing what I even sent to it. Oh, so the name of this one is kind of different. So this one is called development. Okay, let's give it that name. Let's give it a name. Even though we don't actually, I don't think we are using this Docker whatever, but I don't think we are using it. 7.0. We are not using this. And is it 9,000 or 1992? That's what I'm trying to even correct. I think it's 1920. Okay, let me just leave it there. So if we have that set up, we can then give it a try again. So now is doing its thing, and it has accepted, has seen that directory, and it's continuing in its setup. So David, go ahead. I've removed WAPs. I'm not. Do you notice that I've not been using that again now? I don't need AI in my terminal for now. I don't need AI in my terminal because I'm not sitting there. I know what I want to put, right? So I just push it. There's so much tools out there. You just have to find the one that works with you. Right, there's so many tools. Other people are enjoying it, but for me, it's not working with my flow. Everybody have a flow. For my flow, WAP is not working for me like that. So I'm not finding what to do. It has its own flow and everything, but I think I like this one, because I want to be able to, one of the major things that I like this one for was that I can have my servers and just one click connect to it. It's more thing that it has, right? This is just one of it. So David, if you're interested, become a fan, become a super fan, subscribe, and I'll show you. There's a video for that already, so I'll share the video to you. I'm also streaming from Mac, so I think you will be interested. Okay, so a lot of things is cooking. It's trying to do what it needs to do, and once we are done, I will now install. Once it tells me that it's running, I will continue what I'm doing. I think it's running for the first time. I think I will also, once it's finished, we might not wait till the end. I will allow you to go and do what you need to do. So, okay, I'll allow you to do some things. It's getting error low. Hey. Okay, that's not a serious, that's error from our code, not error from setup. So I think we're good technically. Just to be sure, we can pull up the application and try to use it by going to the IP. So let's try to make use of it. So good, it's calling the stuff, but of course there's a lot of things that we've done we need to repair. We need to repair several damages or things that we've done to the system. Okay, so how do we do that? We don't even need this one for now. Docker is good, it's going on well. We've spinned several files and directory. One of the things is we don't push shared folder, so I want to stop pushing the shared folder like so that we don't have this kind of bloated stuff, because it's going to be generated. Eventually it's going to be generated. So let me go to this guy and see what happened there. So I'm going to go to git ignore and see how we did that. Don't just want to ignore directly. There's also a command that we do to help. So I ignore everything here. Before I want to start solving the problem. So apart from ignoring that, I want to also delete this from all the history. Remember, notice that I'm not deleting, in fact it's the lock I'm not supposed to delete. This one here, gen lock. So I'm supposed to keep. Okay, this one is just to remove this one. I don't need to even keep this one. The gen lock is there. So I need to remove this. I need to remove this from git history. So there's a code I need to run to remove that. So all the instances of the history of this guy need to be removed from git history, and I won't need to be bothered about it anymore. I shouldn't be bothered about it anymore. So I don't know why it's still sitting here for me to do stuff on it, but the idea is that it's not supposed to be there anymore. Let me add it properly to, because I'm supposed to. Oh, okay, it's asking me to commit that special change that I've just done. So let me commit it and remove everything from that. I think I should push the git ignore as well. Okay, then the next thing is for us to be able, let me check my shared, okay, still on my local system, which is great. How do we start solving the errors? Of course, we have to take it one after the other. You can look at it from here and start your code generation. One of the easy ways to first just delete all the references and start trying to work your way back. One of the changes to the DTO is that the way DTO is written has now changed. Yeah, everything that works for Mac should work for Linux as well. So shouldn't have any issue. So it's not just becoming a fan, you have to become a super fan. I don't remember of super fan. You have to become a super fan. There's a requirement, there's a payment stuff that has to go on there. So for starters, I need to change this to DTO like this. So this is the way it's supposed to be written, and you can import it this way. So please take note, because you're the one that is going to do all these changes. Import, that way you fixed only this one. Then another thing is I can do search and replace. So I can search and replace and do something like this. That way, instead of me fixing one, I fix all. So I do something like this, and this fixes a lot of stuffs, but it has messed with this ones, but I think it will figure itself out somehow. It has messed with that one, it has messed with this one, so I think maybe I should remove it from the list. So I have that. It's going to be a lot of changes. It took me some time to actually fix 71 files or 71 occurrence across 15 files. Okay, that has gone. Let's save this one. Yep, it saw it. Now another challenge is this naming of services. This one also saw it well. This is what I'm expecting. Right, you should see it. The challenge we have is the function name. Yep, the function name actually I think has changed dramatically. The function name has changed dramatically, and also the way you use it has also changed. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to do one, then pass you on to do the rest. I'm going to do one and pass you on to do the rest. This is the use hook. Remember that in the other project, I did the use hook automatically. But this one we're not doing automatically. This one is going to take a long time. But once you fix the hook, I guess everything should be, good. Now, how do you try and resolve to fix the right function? How do you know the right function to call? Very simple. You go to the class, right? You go to the class like this. Once you press Control on your keyboard, it should come up. And once you get to the class, you will now see the correct naming of the function. I hope it will be simple. So now the naming of the function, they are now naming it by the parameter instead of saying get assets. So it's now much longer than what it is. So let's go back to where we're coming from. So you know that from these you are getting by ID. So they've changed it that they want to include the ID. They want it to be more explicit. So even though I like this, but I don't know, they want to be more explicit. Maybe if we go to the naming of the generating the code, we can specify how to tone that down, but I'm not interested in that right now. So if we come here, this is actually that code. So you have to use this function name for this. So you just solved one problem. The next problem is the parameter. So the parameter is passed by paths. I can tell because I've been doing this for a while now. It's passed by paths. So you won't see, well, this gives you an idea, right? It gives you an idea. And remember, when we're creating the auto-generated hook, how to pass it by paths is to specify another, like a container like so, and put paths is equal to this, and then you have your resolve. It's as simple as that. So like I said, I'm going to do a whole one for you, and then you will handle the rest of the whole system. And I just hope that this other guy will work fine. Let me see what he's using. Okay, good. It's not using tank stack. It's just using normal HTTP request call. I think Axial. This should be Axial. Okay, so we've resolved this one, right? Let's go to the second one, which is this one. Apparently this one works fine correctly, as in without changing a function name. This is cool, great, fantastic. Again, I can already tell that this one is query, right? This one requires you to pass query option and everything will be good, because this appears in query, not paths and not body. Right, so we have like 3 or 4 major stuff. Let me open it up so that you see all the major stuffs there. So you have to go to here. Once you get here, you have body, you have path, you have query, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. And then you have your, of course, you want to supply the URL. So you could see all the parameters that could be passed here. So the same way we did this, we introduce a curly bracket and then we put path. So you can just highlight all this guy. Then I will do shifts and curly brackets. That will be introduced. Then inside it, I write my query and I'm good to go. So that needs to apply to everything. Well, we're almost there. We're almost there because this, I'm still seeing this error. We're almost there. So, and I hope it will just resolve itself. I don't want to start thinking about what to do next. So we'll do the same thing here. And I do query. And it should just resolve itself. It's not working the way we want it. But nothing that quick check on ChatGPT cannot fix. But let's see what it's saying. Let me try and do auto fix if that will work. If it work, everybody go their way and we're happy. It didn't work. It didn't work. So let me see what it's trying to say. Let me see what it's trying to say. That should just be automatic, but for some reason it doesn't want to be automatic. Okay, so we're having issue with return type. Yeah. So the return type is the issue. And it's saying that we should use, yep, the return type is the issue. So pay attention here. The last of our, so it wants us to return DTO this and promise. So I'm trying to see how I can represent what it's saying. So it will require you to do a code rewrite, which is unfortunate. I'm saying unfortunate because you have to now think about too many things. It's requiring you to write a code rewrite. Now let me explain. The new method we've written is not returning the code directly. Like it's returning a promise instead of the data. So we were expecting the data, but it's representing is, returning the promise. I don't even think we try to await at some point because we're running async and we are not waiting. So here we are supposed to actually await the old guy. We are not awaiting. So let me see where we need to adjust that. And then once we do, we also need to return what we are awaiting. So we didn't await. That's one of the challenge. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and implement. Here it's also telling us to return, to do a code check for return. It's not just putting await alone. So we actually need to put the await in a variable and check what it is that we are returning and return back to it. So let's do we have that one there where we can then say this guy, this is our return. This code with this man they gave me is too long. What did we even normally return, Seth? because that's another thing. Let me go and look at our response. This is what we're returning. It's either we return this or we have an asset like so. Let me go to the code and see the data response returned. Okay, here we have the asset itself. I'm trying to avoid writing longer code. I'm trying to make minimalistic code change. That's what I'm trying to achieve. I don't want to write too much code to address what it is we have here. I want to make the code as small as possible. And the way it's looking like now, it's not looking like I can achieve that minimalistic code stuff. It's not looking like I can do that. Let me check what I'm having here. So this is what it wants us to do. Data at the end of everything. Let me check if it will. Trying to avoid creating variables, because the solution I'm seeing here, I don't like it. So the data is undefined. This one here, it allows us to define the data. Okay. So the whole guy, once he awaits, let me check something. Okay, this one, accept this. The guy still no agree. Has no property. You're not giving me any solution now, this man. You're not giving me any solution. Check. Jennifer. Oh yeah, now. See, make I send Asa. Make I go look for my Asa. What's that my details self? Let me check let me send my details quickly. Somebody wants to support my live. Oh 814 146 93 55 99 0814 693 5599. Yep. Okay, so let's continue. So let me see what Big Brother is saying. So what I want to do is let me copy what I'm seeing here. But one of the reasons why we're having this issue is because I can't remember if I faced this issue. Okay, saying we should have a wrapper. I don't think this wrapper will help. I don't know if this wrapper will help because I did a wrapper I actually provided the wrapper in the previous system. I don't know if the wrapper will help or because if I have a wrapper, I'll still need to. So a wrapper is a way for me to hide all these things and then check if the return value is a specific something and then return what we're supposed to return. Let me approach the wrapper issue or the wrapper process. Now this is the wrapper function it has written for us, and like I mentioned, I use it in Edge. So this is a wrapper and it's supposed to be unwrapping a little package, right? So if I do export function, this thing is taking longer than I assumed or planned, but let's go ahead. So I want to be able to unwrap this guy. So how do we use the unwrap? So instead of having it this way, we unwrap it by just doing something like this, and we don't need to do this like this, and we call it up this way. But let me see. I don't know if it will fix this guy here. Let me check. So this is what the unwrap does. It has fixed it though. It's fixing it though. Ah, it's on fixing it again. But I know I have one last one at the bottom. Let me see if it will fix it. Okay, that fixed it. So I can actually give you a full explanation of what I just did now. That actually fixed it. That actually fixed it. Hello? Let me call you back in 30 minutes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue what we are doing. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, so the change I did is this. I will run this again on other parts so that you see what happens. So we are good with assets. Asset is fine. We can't test, but at least we know that when you say green like this, it means it's going to work, kind of. So, but I will like to, of course, we can still test because other parts are still worrying the system. Let me go and remove some of the things from the import. So let me go and do that from the import. Let's go to the main and start checking the main. So which guy is this? So let's remove this guy. I don't think we need this guy. Another thing you can do is to run build. So build allow the system to expose all the issues that you're having. Do we even have build here? Yeah, it will expose several issues right now. Yeah, several of them will come up. Follow this guy. So let me go to main. Let me see the error is also saying again from the web, because I don't understand that error. Now, okay, this generated SDK. Oh, it's having issue from the what you just did now. How is that possible? Okay, missing work order service. Okay, work order service. That's inside which file? Okay, work order. So I want us to use this one here. Where is it get? Okay, hook work order. So the next point of action is hook work order. Let's start. The same approach. I delete all these guys that has the issue, and I save. I delete them, I save. Then I go down to where the code is, and I import the one I can import. So this one is good to import. Yeah, go to import. And for I think the error is kind of easy to fix now. I also import this one, very easy. And this one needs to change to path. Me looking at it, I know that is path. Then this one needs to be await and unwrap. Await, unwrap, unwrap. So like I mentioned to you, we also have this unwrap in Edge. Unwrap is a way for the system to return the actual type and do whatever the needful needs to do. So that's it. So the reason for the await is to turn it away from promise and give me the actual data that I need to get. That's the proposal. So I'm putting my await there, and also I need to call my unwrap. I think we've missed one step, and that step is making the whole thing a query. Yep. So query. Good. And we're almost done. Now this one, I think the function name has changed. That's when you have something like this. This is also an interesting one. This is a mutation. Oh, okay. Of course, it still follows the same thing. I guess this is a path. This is a path. So, but it's looking like this name does not exist. But let's look for it. Patch work order sent to warehouse. So let's look for patch work order by ID approval. So this is it here, sent to warehouse. So it also has, so what they've done now is that to add the parameter as part of the naming, which I think I don't like, but it's okay. So they've added as part of, so this one awaits already, which is cool. But this one does not have any issue, because if you notice, it doesn't return anything, right? So it's doing the await, so it won't give us any issue, I guess. It shouldn't give us any issue. So the same thing here, you need to do by the ID. So if you go and look at it, work suspend, I think we saw it first before the other one. We saw it first before the other one. I don't think it's this one, but let me check again. So this one is supervisor approval. So let's go to supervisor approval. SUP, yeah, that's it there. Okay. Then this has to be part. Okay, this one too looks good. Then this one is the one we saw first. Manager. Make sure you are copying the right function. It's gonna be funny calling the wrong function for the wrong thing, for the right thing. And I guess we are technically good. If you look up, everything is all green, no more error. So those are the things that you will need to do, let me check again. Let's refresh and see what happens. So again, it moves us to the next file, which in this case has taken us back to assets, but I don't believe it. So you can see that that's taking us to work requests, right? Work request. I might end up doing everything now, because I really want to see the updates to know that there's no advanced stuff that need my attention. That's actually one of the things that's making me to go ahead to do this. So this one is by ID. By ID was not passed. But before we do that, let me just put paths here. And okay, then I have to be doing await. Then we have to unwrap. We have to import the guy. This is a query. Oh, this is a very crazy job. Then await, unwrap the guy. Okay, you want to look at the code that unwrap very well. It's an interesting code. So the reason you imagine if you didn't do it this way, you have to do it manually every time. That's the first thing I wanted to do first. I'm like, no, I can't be doing that. So this helper function to make things your life easy, makes your life a whole lot easier. I know we still have quite a number of hooks we still need to deal with. So which hook is remaining now? It's remaining. It's still pointing to work request, which I don't believe. It's pointing, circling back to assets. As long as we've not finished everything, the guy will just be running in circles. So stores, there's nothing in stores. Assets, dashboard. Okay, so let's fix dashboard. So this dashboard guy is just calling the endpoint directly. We are not doing. He just call. Okay, no, it's not calling the endpoint directly. What's going on here? Okay, let me just go ahead and do the needful. So if what's going on here? Well, let me enter this place first and see. Get dashboard. So this one is calling it correctly. Okay. So if I implement the same thing to it on wrap, so it's all cool. Inventory, get item by ID. So the reason why there should be a await here, because there's an async and await. You can't have, especially something you are waiting for. So you have to put async and await. And at the end, whatever you've got, you unwrap it, because SWR puts things in data. That's why you saw data here. Whatever it returns is in data. So imagine if I don't have this helper class, I have to be doing it manually. So that's why I opt to do with the helper thing. I hope this is the last one. Okay, we still have push notification. Oh god, let's do this quickly. So this one goes to push posts. Is this a part or a I think this is a body. I think that's a body. That should be a body. Okay, why is one highlighted? Okay, so at this point I need help. So let me not get ahead of myself too much. So let me go and check. If I go to the option, I know it's a body. Yeah, a body that requires this, and this requires. Oh, something has happened though. So what is this payload? This payload is this. So this guy is not needed here. So how did they work in the first place? This is a major thing now. So this is supposed to be post push message. So post push message accept what? Accept push message. Okay. So it's not supposed to be collecting token. So there's something wrong with this endpoint then. So this is supposed to be put in body. Body like this. Okay, that is okay. Let's move on to the next one. Now this guy, who is this guy calling? I think this guy is also receiving what? This one is receiving body as well. It's body as well. So this should be body. And the next one, now why is this one underlined? We don't have it imported. Now you have it imported. Now I think this one should be, because we don't have it written correctly. So let's look for delete. Yep, delete. No, I think it should be this one by token. So that token should be a part thing. To be sure, delete push unregistered device by token. So if I come like this, and it should be a part thing. Yep, it's a part thing. So I have that set as well. Store, there's no error on store. Right now we are supposed to be home and dry, but it's not home and dry anything. Now when you get stuck into this loop of things not looking like it's not working because it's going back in circle, I just hope that will correct it. We need to restart the service. We need to restart it so that it will refresh the whole thing from beginning. Now let's restart the Docker guy. Guy don't run tire. Okay, so let's redo that again. So I have a database issue. My backend is not connecting from here. I can see that. So let me start up my data. That's another issue. My database is set up, but it's wrong. So we need to check that. Let me check that quickly. Did you change anything from your backend? IP. Oh, okay. In the other system, Abby. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, so let me check what is called in the other application. So let me get that quickly. So backend. So okay, I can see the new name now. Okay, so let's see if that's solved the problem. So I need to redo that and reconnect. Yep, I think it's connected, but it won't tell you if it's connected though. But it didn't come up with the error like the first thing to do. So that is going. Then once this one is up, I think we can now install PnP on my local machine. Npm install. Okay, so that one is done. We can then install this on my system. Then I can go and check what's up again, if it's working or not. Also, it's not responding. We got an exit code here, so there's an issue here we didn't detect in time. So maybe we didn't wait for it to finish, but we waited. Didn't I wait for it to finish? So there's an exit. It didn't terminate, so we have to stop this guy again and redo it, because we need to actually wait for node to complete before we pull it up. So this guy has to do his thing. This guy has to finish his thing. So if you don't wait for it to finish his thing and you try to install PnP on your own local machine, I think that's what you get. Are you reading chats? Prince Will, how you doing? Someone is asking if it's hard. Yes, it's hard. Are you reading that chat? I guess I just. So I think we have an issue. We have an issue. When you have something like this, it means you're not going anywhere, brother. Well, so there's an issue here. I think it's a something that we need to actually address in the system. So I think it's a what's it called now? There's a restriction on being able to write on the directory. So we need to fix that directory. Let me adjust the screen back to what it was. There's a permission issue based on the error that we are getting. So it says that it can't copy stuff into this part. So we need to fix that permission. We need to fix that permission. So I'm looking at, I think we have issue in the compose file. Let me see where we can. We're having issue in the issue here. There's a permission issue we are facing here. So I think I solved this one on my system. So this is causing issue. Let me see what I have on my own local system, if I still maintained this part. Docker. Okay, I actually still maintain it on my system. Which version of this now are we using? We didn't even specify the version. But this is what we used to. But the funny thing is that it's installed the first time without issue. So what I want to do is let me rebuild it from scratch, right? And we'll give it a try again while I look for solution. Let's rebuild it from scratch, even though, yeah, okay, that's this one, right? Even though it's not supposed to need it. So let me Okay, we should not even restart. We should, because we don't even need to go through that long. Let me run it again and see. Let me run it again and see. Man, I think this should fix it. So I think in the next 10 minutes we'll round up, so I can work on other projects. We might not be able to go to the edge and the update I want to do on edge, right? We'll just stop here. You continue this one and pick it up from where I stopped. I believe it will start now. I believe so. Which one is Tabal download at risk speed? I think my network is kind of selecting some stuff too. So I think it has started. So okay, so this is it's seeing some stuffs, you know, on what it's trying to do. Okay, let me install npm on my system as well. So let's give it a try and see where it goes from there. It's kind of booting. This is supposed to be booting like this, because it's supposed to show automatically. Missing SDK. If you refresh now, it will keep changing the error. God, I beg you. Line 20, assets TS line 20. Hook. Line 20. Line 29. Okay, 29. Okay, so the issue is having with this Ato. So that's the problem it's actually having. But now you are not even having. So what I want to do now is I want to look for alternative. But it's actually properly mapped here, but it's having issue bringing it. SDK gen. Okay, let's search for the issue. So we have issues here. I think it has to do with the way we are exporting this stuff here, and that's why I use this one. So the package, I think, is having issue here, but it worked in where we are coming from, because that's why I just did copy and paste. It worked it where we are coming from. So let me see how we imported it. Coming back to this. So it said the way we import it is not, it doesn't like the way we imported it. It doesn't like this way we imported it. So how do you want us to import it? So let me look for Let me look for the exports. Shared generated code. So it has shifted his attention to something else. So this is the challenge I also had with so it has moved the error to inside the app, right? So there's a part where we use constant and all the rest. So I hope it will leave the attention there. Now constants, I think they are written together, right? This is another one you need to pay attention to. This one now, they are now written together, and you use capital letter like this and like so. So this is how it is now. So you use, instead of the way it is where you specify, from the way it is now before, where it starts with small letter, it's now starting with capital letter and there's no more underscore. So that replace all, and that should fix that part. Then there's no uppercase anymore as well. It's now normal case. So there's several things you're going to replace like this, right? There's no uppercase anymore. Superintendent role, supervisor role, manager role, host role, planner role. And we use a lot of constants, so take notes. Warehouse superintendent role. I'm reading it out so that you know what it is. Warehouse superintendent role. Warehouse superintendent role. Yep, I've missed it. This one is superintendent. Why this one is okay. Okay, superintendent. Yeah. Well, superintendent role, because you have to be careful so you don't give the wrong person the wrong role. This is just the basic. There's still more place we need to change, so that's why I move on to the console to check the console error. So here now it has generated another error, and that's inside the badge. And if you go there, you see where the error is. The same thing here, constant status. It has used another method we are using another method, which is this and capital letter C. The guy is running through the entire code to even, before he display anything to us. That's interesting. That's code. Well, so let's see. This one is even asking us to, okay, this is just one we change. Let's even see where it's even inside self. Use your full chest. So we have to correct all this. So I think I will stop here. Yes, let me stop here and give it to you to go and work on. Let me explain the challenges you will face, right? Like what I mean is, let me go through it for you and try and figure out the one I've not done so that you can easily do it yourself. You already know this one. I'm going to be using normal case, right? You can do find and replace to make it easy for you. You need to be careful about find and replace. Very careful about find and replace. Sometimes it's just better to do it normally. So let me go through the code from top to the bottom, so that way I will capture things that you might stumble into. So this one, no issues. Error, this one is important. So we're not using API error anymore. We're using Axio, I guess. I don't know what we're using now, but we're still maintaining DT error, right? So Let me see. Axio. Is it Axio error stuff? I can't remember what that one is. But this API error is not inside here. The former system used to use API error, but we're not using this error anymore. If you're going to use copy and paste from Edge, of course, you know that we're using different error management in this and Edge. So you need to use the error generated from Axio. But let me quickly bring it up, because we're using Axio stuff for this guy. So this guy is located inside. I can't remember where the component is, but let me try and see where is that component for error. It's not here. Okay, yes, Axio error. That's it. So this is the stuff, right? So you need to match these two guys together. Because the error can either be error from our end or Axio error. We even need to implement it this one. Even I'm thinking about how I want to implement this. Because this is important. Because what's happening here? So do you see? Just look at the similarities. Very important. This one is returning API response any, right? Because the error is sitting inside it. So if you can look at it, it contains the message, the data, the code. This is a standard return. Even if there's an error, the error is going to be inside the message, and it's going to be either okay or not okay. But in this case, we are not returning like DTO API response. We are returning DTO error response, specific error response, right? So I also, a return Axio error, or rather, I'm using Axio error, because if it's an error from JavaScript or error from the Axio, and it's not something I've processed, it will be like this. Then we need to interpret it. So you need to match this one to meet this. So we need to maintain this one. So I'm not going to talk about this. Fix this. I'll leave it to you to fix. Okay, all this one are just interfaces design, nothing so special. So moving on to nothing here. Set iOS capacitor. What's happening here? Why is this having an error? This has nothing to do with the migration. Okay, this has nothing to do with the migration, but it shouldn't be having error. Nothing here, nothing here, nothing to see. Yeah, this one is already fixed. We already know what we are doing here. Context authentication, I've done this context. Hook, I've done hook, all the hook. So pages, forget, nothing is in pages, nothing is in here. Login, nothing to see or nothing to fix. Assets, nothing to fix. By the time you fix all those core things, you won't have any other things to fix within the application. And that's a good thing when you isolate all these your stuffs. Now here is that you are calling the API directly, right? So you know what to do here. This API does not take this directly. Then you are going to change this to body. So this is supposed to be body. Let me just change it for you. Good, you're good to go. So I just fixed that. Check other things. Yep. So the only part you're going to have challenge is the error part, which studied very well. Is pretty straightforward. You should be good to go. So let me push all the changes I've done so that you can work on them, and that will be all for today. We'll convey back later in the day. I've made several changes, especially the make file. A lot of changes here. So when you are making stuff, your stuff will be automatically generated. I've also added the Hey API, removed the Open API stuff. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. And we're going to be making something silent, especially because there's so many things that's going to be generating automatically, especially this part here. I need to silence this guy. This is supposed to be muted. These two guys are supposed to be muted. This is the only one that should be generated automatically, because these guys are going to grow crazily. So we have those things done, I can commit and push the update to you. So that's all for now. We reconvene later if there's no other questions.